Let's be honest, 2020 was hot garbage. Stuck in home, bored, with the coronavirus spreading around the streets. It was bad. Really, really bad. At least 2021 is looking to be a better year, right? But anyways, lucky for me and everyone at home, there was one thing that was keeping me entertained during the whole disaster that was 2020. Video games. In my personal opinion, this was the best year for gaming. Since we were quarantined, we had all the time in the world to play any game we ever wanted. And man, did I play some bangers this year. In this video, I'm gonna list the 5 best ones. Note that not all these games that I'm listing come from 2020. Hence why this video is called Top 5 Games I've Played in 2020. And also, this is just my opinion, so don't go too insane over what I think. With that said, let's begin. Kicking this list off, we have Euro Truck Simulator 2. Heck yeah, brother! Driving down the old 485 to Colorado. Yeehaw! Now I played this game because my brother said I should try it. He said that I might like it, and I was skeptical at first. Like, how could driving a truck for like 30 minutes be fun? It sounded boring to me. Then I actually played the game, and man, I was so wrong. Where do I start? For starters, there's a lot of customization for the trucks. I think there's like 200 paint jobs you can put in. Some of them have a little sketch that represent the country. For example, there's one for Spain that has a toro. There's a samurai one for the Japanese. And there's one with a guy playing hockey. And I haven't even talked about the accessories. There's like 50 different things you can change, with options such as a sandwich, a laptop, and the Michelin Man. Now let's finally talk about the gameplay. It is a perfect mix between being a simulation and being fun and accessible. It's a relaxing experience, just driving around looking at the beautiful environments the game offers, while listening to your own radio, finding new areas, building your truck empire, and even learning how to drive while you're at it. My only complaint is that every once in a while the cops will pull over someone on the road, or help in an accident, but they almost completely block off the road, forcing you sometimes to take a very tight gap just cause the cops couldn't stop in the sides. Other than that small nitpick, it's still a pretty great game that I come back to every once in a while. Number 4. Yes, another simulator game made it onto this list, and that game is Skylines. Cities is awesome. It's everything a city builder should be, and it does everything well. Like, you have all the tools you need to modify terrain, roads, and environments, edit policies, districts, and universities. Like, it's almost perfect. I say almost perfect, because there are a few things that I find bad. First things first, this game doesn't tell you what you did wrong. In one of my first cities, my citizens started getting sick, and I didn't know why. Later I found out the sewage my water rain was releasing was going upstream into my water pipes. I didn't know I was supposed to be aware of these arrows and where I was placing my pipes. And by the time I found out, well, GG. And one last problem is that the base game needs some quality of life things. For example, there's a mod called Traffic Manager President Edition, which, as the title says, is a traffic manager, an advanced one. The features on it you can use to absolutely boost that traffic flow. Other examples are the Move It mod, which allows you to move anything freely, and the Parallel Road tool, which makes it easier to make 2 or more roads that are parallel to each other. Essentially what I'm saying is that this game is better played with mods. It's not a negative. The base game is still fine, but I feel bad for the console players who can't use these quality of life mods. Even then, it's still the best city game builder out there, and I can't wait till I finish my beautiful city of Slovakia. At number 3, we have Final Fantasy 15, the first Final Fantasy I've played, if you don't count the MMO. And I gotta say, it was pretty cool. I like the fast-paced dynamic combat that most other JRPGs don't have, even if it wasn't the most precise like Devil May Cry. Characters were cool and memorable, especially Prompto. I like his dumb bangers.
You're just gonna have to push her all the way.
I've already pushed myself to the brink of death.
Get up.
But the graphics though. I say the graphics is the most impressive aspect of this game. I never seen a game this photorealistic. Even on the lowest settings, the world and characters still look beautiful. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Beautiful. Now Final Fantasy XV is not a perfect game, obviously. It has its issues. The story isn't the most complex or dynamic. It can sometimes get confusing, especially at the first half. The later half is better in my opinion, and more interesting. Another problem I had was some performance issues where sometimes the game will take a long time to load in loading screens or render certain environments. I may not have the latest, most groundbreaking GPU, Fortune LEDs and G Fuel, but it didn't take me as long to load in games like The Witcher 3, which is weird. But either way, these issues I don't really mind. I understand the people that find these issues very bad, and I still find them bad. It's just that it has very little effect on me. Still, the game was fun. I like the graphics, the characters, the world design, all those goofy moments like the quest where you go get an ostrich egg in the mountains to make the perfect cup noodles. Yeah, that was a banger quest. But yeah, I thought this game was so good that it got me to try out Final Fantasy VII, which I still have yet to finish. But man, it's going pretty great. At number 2, we have Celeste. A perfect game. I'm not joking, I seriously think this is a perfect game. And I'm gonna explain it to you by first talking about the level design. If I have to describe it in one word, it will be genius. Each level has about 3 unique gimmicks that it uses in a bunch of fun, difficult, and unique ways. Ultimately culminating into the summit. An astoundingly hard marathon of sorts, where every mechanic and gimmick is combined, forming into the ultimate test, and it's my favorite level for this reason. The story of this game was surprisingly good, one of the few stories that I actually care about. I won't summarize or go into detail, as I don't want to make this video too long. All I'll let you know is that I love how it was more than just the average Save the Princess story that platformers like Meat Boy and Mario have. And the fact that it's kinda inspiring and beautiful, and sometimes even depressing. And what's not to like about the graphics? Every level is always gorgeous to look at. The level select is a low poly 3D mountain, which is kinda cute. Even the main character's hair has its own physics. I could be talking about Celeste for more than 3 hours, but I think you all get the point. Great game, incredible story, gorgeous graphics. Now, I've been praising Celeste for like a solid 3 minutes, and that wasn't even number 1. You may be like, Flowers, what could be better than Celeste? You said that it was a perfect game. Well, I'll say this. Both Celeste and their number 1 game are equal in score, but for this list, I had to go the game journalist route. And by that I mean, I had to nitpick, to find who was number 1. And after looking at the smallest issues I could find on both games, I've come up with the correct opinion. Number 1 goes to... Doom Eternal. The game that unironically makes you feel like a demon slayer, attacking and maneuvering around enemies while listening to Mick Gordon's insane soundtrack is always so cool and high energy. Every weapon has a purpose, every enemy has a weakness, and every fight is always different. And that's what I love about Doom Eternal. If we go back to Doom 2016, which I played, the only weapon you needed was a super shotgun. There was no reason to use any other. And the only time someone will use anything other than a shotgun was when you ran out of ammo. There's a lot more creativity in the map design. In Doom 2016, the whole team was set on Mars, which wasn't a lot for the environment designers to go off of. In Doom Eternal, the game is set on Earth and space, allowing for more creative freedom. And as such, you got maps like this space base, mossy ruin temple thing, hell, and even Antarctica, dude. They added monkey bars, they added a grappling hook, ice bomb. You can feed your cacodemons a spoonful of pop rocks. Seven out of 5. My humble opinion, this is one of the best sequels I've seen to a game ever. So many improvements graphically, so much more weapons, enemies, glory kills, and they're more complex and advanced combat that never gets boring and has never felt overwhelming. And with that, I crown Doom Eternal my game of the year for 2020. But yeah, that was my list. Hope you all agreed on the picks, cause if not, you're wrong. Anyways, I'll be working on my next video. And until then, I'm out. Peace.
Tylko jedno w głowie mam, koksu 5 gram.